It was one of those mornings when fate writes its own script, quietly, invisibly, until the moment it reveals itself in front of everyone. The restaurant buzzed with quiet luxury, golden chandeliers, marble floors, and the low hum of conversations blending with soft classical music. But at table 7 sat a man whose very presence could silence the room. Sheikh Khalid al-Mansour, the CEO of the Middle East's largest tech empire. A man known not only for his billions but for his brutal honesty and sharp mind. Everyone whispered his name as he walked in, the man who had built cities, reshaped industries, and crushed companies with a single decision. But no one expected what was about to happen next. CTA 1, and before we dive deeper, make sure to like this video, subscribe to Exposed Tales, and comment below what you would do if a billionaire suddenly tested you in public. Your answer might surprise even you. The Sheikh was there to host a private breakfast meeting with 3 finalists, top executives from around the world, competing for the position of international director at his company. It was a role worth millions, and every eye in the restaurant was on that table. The finalists were impeccably dressed, confident, fluent, polished, the kind of people who had conquered boardrooms and presentations. And then there was Aisha, the 25-year-old waitress serving their table. Her uniform was slightly faded, her hair tied in a simple bun, and her tired eyes held both humility and hidden wisdom. No one noticed her much, not the applicants, not the other diners, not even the manager. To them, she was invisible, just another server refilling glasses and clearing plates. But Sheikh Khalid noticed her. He noticed everything. As breakfast began, the Sheikh listened quietly to each candidate's pitch. They spoke about innovation, leadership, and global expansion. Their words polished, their tones rehearsed. Yet, as he leaned back in his chair, his expression grew colder. There was something missing. Finally, as the last candidate finished his speech, Sheikh Khalid turned his gaze toward the window, the golden morning light falling on his face, and he spoke softly, but in fluent, elegant Arabic. Tell me, if I gave you a team that doesn't speak your language, would you still lead them? Or would you just speak louder, hoping they'd understand? The candidates froze. They glanced at one another, their confidence cracking. Not one of them understood what he had just said. Silence. The kind that makes your heart pound in your ears. Then, from the corner, a gentle voice broke it. He said, "Would you still lead them, or would you just speak louder, hoping they'd understand?" All heads turned. It was Aisha, the waitress. Her tray trembled slightly in her hands as she placed down a cup of coffee. Her voice was calm, soft, but every word came out with perfect pronunciation. The Sheikh's eyes narrowed, intrigued. "You speak Arabic?" he asked. "Yes, sir," she replied quietly. "My grandmother taught me." She was from Alexandria. The candidates stared, embarrassed. The Sheikh, however, leaned forward, his curiosity now fully awakened. "Then answer the question." "Aisha," he said, switching back to Arabic, "if your team didn't understand your language, how would you lead them?" She hesitated, thinking. The restaurant had gone utterly silent, even the clinking of cutlery had stopped. Then she spoke, slowly, choosing her words carefully. "Leadership isn't about being understood by words," she said. "It's about being understood by heart. People follow kindness, not commands. If my team didn't understand my words, I'd show them through action. The language everyone knows." Her voice trembled at first, but the sincerity behind it made even the Sheikh sit back. For a moment, his expression softened, something no one at that table had ever seen. The executives looked down, uncomfortable. They had spent thousands perfecting their presentations, but none had answered the question that wasn't spoken. The question of humanity. Over the next few minutes, Sheikh Khalid continued the meeting, but his mind was elsewhere. He watched Aisha as she moved around the room, careful, respectful, calm. When a customer snapped at her, she smiled and apologized instead of arguing. When a child spilled juice, she quietly knelt to clean it, whispering kind words to the embarrassed mother. He saw something rare, humility wrapped in strength. When the meeting ended, the Sheikh stood and said something no one expected. "Thank you, gentlemen," he said, turning to the candidates. "But the position has been filled." Confusion spread across their faces. "By whom?" one of them asked. The Sheikh turned toward Aisha. "Be her." Gasps rippled through the room. The manager stammered, "Sir, she's just a waitress." "No," the Sheikh interrupted, his tone calm but final. "She's a leader who understands what others don't, the heart of service, and I don't hire resumes. I hire souls. Aisha froze, tears filling her eyes. Sir, I don't understand. I don't have a degree. I've never worked in an office. Then you'll learn, he said gently. You already know what matters most. The rest can be taught. The other candidates left in silence, their confidence shattered, not because they had lost a job, but because they had been reminded of something success had made them forget humility. Days turned into weeks. Aisha began working at the Sheikh's company, first as an assistant, then as a team coordinator. Her natural empathy turned the workplace into something more human. Employees felt heard. Projects became smoother. Even the Sheikh, known for his strictness, found himself smiling more often. But what no one knew was that Aisha still sent part of her salary back home to her mother, a widow living in a small village, who once told her, "Never forget the language of the heart, no matter how high you rise." And one day, when the Sheikh visited her department, he found her translating an Arabic letter for a group of interns who didn't understand it. He smiled. "Still leading without words, I see." She laughed softly. "Still testing people without warning, I see." He chuckled. Touch A, CTA Twin. If you felt inspired by Aisha's story, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Exposed Tales, and share it with someone who believes kindness and humility no longer matter. They just might change their mind. Months later, at a global summit, Sheikh Khalid introduced Aisha as the youngest director in his company's history. Cameras flashed, journalists whispered, and the world watched as the billionaire and the waitress stood side by side. Proof that sometimes destiny speaks softly in a language only the heart understands. And when the reporters asked him what made him choose her that day, he simply said, "Because when everyone wanted to impress me with their English, she reminded me of my humanity." In Arabic, silence fell again, the same kind that once filled that restaurant. Only this time, it was not from shock, it was from awe. True leadership is not about titles or tongues, it's about empathy, humility, and the courage to speak with the heart when no one else dares to.